very few people know this. Probably now you'll spread it to the entire. I'm a very sweet man. I do accomplish everything in the most comfortable way possible.
Means you're just smart.
I wouldn't say that myself.
Okay.
I can be very mean. Nothing that's not allowed in life, as long as you can get away with it.
Yes.
It'll take a month for somebody to find your replacement professionally. It was love at first sight, looking at aircrafts, and it is love every time I see them.
Welcome to the R show, the RachnaRestores show. He meets people from across the world and is a keen learner to understand what makes them tick. I met him during the lockdown when his company had my book alive as one of the top selling at airports. He's warm, humble, and wants to launch a wellness concept for travelers. Please welcome the business head and COO of the largest travel retail company of India, Travel Retail Services, or what we commonly know as Relay, Harmeet Grover.
Hi, Rachna.
Hi, Harmeet.
Uh,
Thank you so much. It's a hot summer afternoon, but you're cool as a cucumber.
Sort of. So I've been fortunate to have a nice office in a nice place in Delhi, which is nicely air conditioned. And the coat that I'm wearing is especially for the interview. I generally don't wear it.
You are the leader of travel and books, and now you're talking about a tech store concept. Tell us how it works in the post-COVID era.
With respect to books, when your book, COVID happened in and around the time that Alive, your book came out. And I remember I got a copy of that book and I reached out to you for doing a session with the rest of the company team.
Yeah.
That was a great session, by the way. Yeah, but so talking about books, so books drastically fell during and post COVID because of concerns. Yeah, one, there were very less travelers at the airport. Secondly, there were concerns of spreading the virus through books because it's not a simple thing to kind of sanitize. It's got multiple pages. How many people would have handled it before they pick it up? So it fell drastically for both these reasons, but eventually it's picked up as drastically. And today, as we look at books, not only has it increased much more in absolute numbers, but it's also as a part of the category share of the stores, the percentage is much higher than what it was before. Meaning that people believe in reading a physical book as opposed to reading a electronic book, Kindle, etc.
No, that's so
Which is,
heartening.
yeah,
Harmeet.
yeah.
Considering my book is coming out in a couple of months, the next one.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. So that's very heartening to know as an author.
Yeah, I mean, I've never used a Kindle, but I have seen uh, co-passengers with a Kindle on my flights, and it's kind of very difficult for me to kind of grasp the thought of reading a book on a device. There's nothing like the touch and feel of a real book.
And
It
the smell.
conveys a lot to you. The cover, it speaks to you. Yeah, the smell of the pages.
Right.
So I think it's all experiential, and you lose that experience in an electronic device.
You are launching a tech store, so how does that pan out?
So when we say tech store, it is an accessory store. So accessories for your computers, your phones, your headphones, your earphones, your chargers, your cables, kind of stuff that people would generally not go to an airport to buy, but something that they would forget on their travels as part of their accessories for their devices, and therefore wanting or needing to buy it.
I see a lot of your pictures about, in the skies on your Instagram handle. And I was very intrigued. Talk a little bit about, are you doing a series or how the skies call out to you?
My father was in the Air Force.
Oh wow, okay. So
Yeah.
you're a fudgy kid like me.
I'm a Fauji kid, and I've always been close to the, where all he was posted. I've been more or less every time been very close to the airports, air bases, fighters flying low in and around your house, stuff like that. And I was always intrigued by aircrafts, but I could not become a pilot. At that point, could not be a private, take up private lessons because it was super expensive. Say, I would say 30, 35 years, 40 years back. So therefore, interestingly, all my jobs till now have been in and around airports and something to do with the airports. I have worked in a flight kitchen. I have worked with an airline, Jet Airways, for about 15 years. And the retail that I'm doing now, which is Relay and previously was W. Smith, was also airport retail, so travel retail. So I know God's put me close to the airport all my life. It was love at first sight, looking at aircrafts, and it is love every time I see them, no matter how many times I see them. It's still the same pure, unadulterated love for me towards aviation, towards aircrafts. It's not time for me to become a pilot in one way or the other.
So, are you actually considering doing a
Yes, I want to have the satisfaction of flying a plane, taking off, landing on my own.
very
I
nice?
don't want a license. I don't want an endorsement that I'm a pilot, but I want to be able to do this on my own, alone. I'm not saying a big aircraft, a single engine, two-seater aircraft would suffice. But I want to have that satisfaction that I can do this and I will do it.
I love these kind of goals, that we all have when, a lot of people end up looking at people our age as saying, okay, they have, done this, done that, achieved. But it's a drive that keeps us going. So, amazing that you have this drive to keep being a student.
Yes, and I really look forward to it. I don't know if it happens this year or the next year, but it has to happen.
It will happen. It absolutely will happen.
Thank you. Also, I had a chance to fly an Airbus 320 flight simulator, the ones that actual pilots use to train. And I had
Wow.
this chance, and I flew to Vietnam just for this. And I managed, of course, with help from an instructor, I did manage to fly the aircraft, take off, and land in the first attempt. That excitement didn't let me sleep for 4 days. I could still for 4 days I could still feel I'm in the plane, and I'm doing it all by myself.
So I have actually seen, in the last 1 year, kind of posts that you are doing, and also whatever pictures, and you also have that on the brown sofa. You're beginning to look sharper, fitter. So is there a wellness mantra that you're following for a year?
Life teaches you lessons. I had a dark phase somewhere around the year 21, 22,
Okay.
and I kind of fought my way through, and that's when I realized about how important the body is, how important food is for your body. You one quite literally abuse their body, and the body is very resilient.
True, very true.
You've got to do a lot to kind of finish it. But thankfully I realized what I need to do with my body, how I need to live my life, what foods are good for me, what's good for my soul, what's good for my mental health, what's good for my physical health. So it was a lesson that kind of made me more aware of my body, made me listen to what my body is saying, and the body always communicates.
Always,
It
always.
always does.
This is seeming to be so much like the epigenetic healing that I do with leaders to reverse aging. So, epigenetic healing
Uh,
actually reverses the aging and repairs us at a cellular level. So,
yeah.
obviously, you seem to have found your path in doing it, and you're looking fitter, younger, handsomer. So, hats off to
Thank
you.
you. Thank you. You've made my day today.
Our health is also connected to the health of the planet. What are the one or two things that you are doing personally to ensure, maybe reduce carbon footprint or sustainability?
I try to maximize the use of the resources that we have. Use it as much as you can for as long as you can. That I feel has a twofold effect. One is that the industry is making lesser to replenish what I've used. And secondly, I feel that, when I throw away the collaterals of that, whether it's packaging or wrapping or labels or plastic or whatever it is that accompanies it, I'm also reducing that if I consume less, because then that way, I'm polluting the planet less. That is one. The other thing that we do is now we use the toxic free detergents, chemicals, dishwashers at home. I'm not very sure if it works, how it works, but if it claims to be toxic free, environmental friendly, human friendly, it doesn't release toxic gases, VOCs, etc., then I feel that overall that's also benefiting the planet.
Both these things work, and I'm telling you from the scientific data that we have, it reduces the burden on the planet as well as it keeps us healthier by doing very little.
Yeah.
So thank you for being conscious of reducing the carbon footprint. Like you said, if there were thousands or hundreds of thousands of people like you who would use and reuse and embrace the concept of minimalism,
Yeah.
uh, then we would have a much healthier planet.
I mean, everyone needs to do their bit. So again, it all adds up. We use the planet's resources by August or September. When I say we use, I mean what the planet would take till December to kind of reinvent, regrow, reproduce. We use those resources by earlier it was October, now then it was September, now it's probably August. So overall things and resources are depleting
Absolutely,
and the
yes.
planet cannot cope up.
Yes, and it's an uphill task that nature heals us and we are so insensitive to nature. That's
Correct.
what appalls me very often. You see these images of, uh, a man sitting under a tree that has been cut, but he's put an umbrella on the tree. That image really stayed with me because the tree is what gives you shade. So why would you cut a tree that is
Yeah.
producing? And now, right now we are going through a heat wave. It wouldn't have happened if we had protected, our nature and environment.
Correct. And nature has a way of getting back at you. You see unseasonal, unrealistic rainfalls, you see unseasonal, unrealistic droughts.
Yes,
And if you remember this, what happened on that Singapore airline flight because of turbulence, as the planet gets warmer, the there's more turbulence, there's more disturbance in the airstreams or the airflows that are at high altitudes which aircrafts fly through. And don't be surprised that you see more cases of turbulence leading to injuries or maybe emergencies in the near future.
that's an interesting fact that you shared. And,
Yeah,
every traveler needs to know that they need to reduce the carbon footprint. Otherwise, they can personally get impacted. A lot of people think, okay,
absolutely.
I will do, what difference will it make if I do this? My life is going on. But when it's
Correct.
impacting us personally is,
Correct.
yeah,
Floods in Germany, floods in various developed parts of the world, which are unheard of, and it's not. It's extreme flooding. It's like devastating.
this has got a little heavy. So I'm going to get down to some fun. What's the one weird thing about Harmeet?
I am a creature of comfort. I try and accomplish everything, and I do accomplish everything in the most comfortable way possible.
Means you're just smart.
I wouldn't say that myself.
Okay.
Uh, when I travel, especially abroad, and I'm on my way to the airport, I check my passport at least 10 times before I reach the airport, just to make sure it's still there.
Okay, okay. So there is airport induced anxiety, even though you've been working around the airport for a long time in your life.
Yeah, but only international because everything else you can carry digitally.
That's
Your
true.
IDs, your tickets, but passport is not something which is digital yet. So that you need to have that book with you if you have to get out of the country.
Oh, we're going to soon get there. Singapore has already started that.
Yeah, so Singapore, I went recently and it was just a humanless immigration.
Same, same. I also went
Yeah.
recently and it was just a
I
breeze.
You mentioned you went to Bali via Singapore.
Oh God, don't talk about that. I didn't want to come back. I had to be dragged back by my hair.
Physically speaking, my left eye is corrected for distant vision. My right eye is corrected for close vision or
Okay.
reading vision. So when you were hunting for your glasses, that's when I figured this is a physical weird part about me.
So you don't wear glasses.
I used to wear glasses. Now the thing is that after 40 or you get nearsighted and you can't read what's closer to you. And with a turban, it's very difficult to wear specs. So I spent time with my doctor and I told her that, this is my problem. If you can give me specs which don't have a stem, because that hurts the ears because it's all tight here. And she said, no, you can put something on your nose, but that's not stable. I said, that looks very ugly too. I mean, that's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
not
yeah.
done.
Look like a little old person then.
Yeah. And then I told her, what about if I get my eye corrected, one for far, one for. Yeah, because you said the brain's smart enough to kind of balance everything. It uses the eye which you're actually using at that point of time. So I asked her two things. Is it medically okay, what I'm saying? Does it make sense? And have you ever done this for somebody? So she said, no, medically, there is no problem if your mind, your brain can adapt to it. And, but they never did this for anybody. This is a weird request. They just needed to figure out that, your stronger eye, so there's always a weaker eye and a stronger eye, or dominant eye, they call it.
That's
So
that's
the
true.
dominant eye should always be corrected for far vision, and the lesser dominant should be for the near vision. And that's how we did it one by one. And uh, I can see what's close, I can see what's far, but the problem is what is intermediate. Between 1 to 2 feet is what is intermediate, is a bit of a gray area.
Okay, so if you are sitting in a plane, and this is one boon that I feel I have is because the FAR number is not very high. When I'm sitting and I can see the monitor very clearly, if I want to watch a movie in a flight
Uh,
or something, I don't need my specs. So you're saying that becomes an issue for you,
no. So that's only if it's something is written. But see, right now when I'm talking to you, your screen's about 1.5 feet away,
right?
and I have no problem.
Interesting.
Very few people know this. Probably now you'll spread it to the entire world. Is that they're very surprised and sometimes shocked to hear this.
Yeah, but we do whatever works for us. So,
Yeah, whatever
yeah.
floats your boat.
What should one be wary of with Harmeet?
I'm a very sweet man,
Yes, that I know.
but I'm a very mean baby. If somebody belittles me or puts me down intentionally, I can be very mean. I'm a very straightforward person. I expect people to be straightforward with me, but when they play games and they backstab you, then I can be absolutely mean. So it's very difficult to kind of put me off, but once I am, then there's no turning back.
Your leadership mantra is?
If something is worth doing, it's worth doing it well and it's worth doing it on time. That is the broader philosophy. Other than that, in my day-to-day life, it's delegate, delegate, delegate.
Mentoring for you is?
Everybody has their strengths and weaknesses, and I have a team with me. My job at mentoring is not limited to one person, but all of them,
Right.
is to use the collective strengths of everybody to achieve something and work as a team. That's why it's called teamwork. Not everybody is strong or weak in one particular thing or everything. I think you need to identify each person's weaknesses or strengths and kind of put them together to use their strengths for the best possible outcome.
That's a beautiful bite of wisdom.
Since you mention it, it's a good piece of wisdom. Maybe even I should write it down before I forget
You will, you will. Don't worry, we'll flash you on it.
it.
What are the few things you do on a daily basis to nurture your physical and emotional well being?
The first thing I do when I get up in the morning is to open the window, look at the sun, and express my gratitude for making me live, making me through the night, and making me see another day to live.
How lovely.
And then I do a little prayer. So I take my dog down for a walk, and before I do that, I say a little prayer uh, to which talks about the well-being and wellness of all my loved ones. And one thing I do almost every day is walk bare feet on the grass.
Oh, you do the grounding thing. It was in
I
my
do
book
the
Alive.
It is. So I think that's where I first read about it. I had seen videos on and off on Facebook, Instagram, but that's where when you see it, formalized, uh, piece of wisdom, is that when you kind of take it more seriously. I take my dog out for a walk. He does his thing, and then it's time for my thing. Is that we come to the building where I stays, and there's a park down there, and I walk a couple of rounds bare feet. Bit of stretch every now and then, a little bit of light exercise when the body wants, if the body wants.
Yeah, the
But
body talks to us.
yeah, I mean, it's a no rule kind of mantra for me. As far as wellness is concerned.
So you do what we call in yoga flow.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
The moment we flow, we heal.
yeah, and that's what I've been doing for the last, more so for the last year.
Very nice. That's why you're looking better and better.
Thank you.
What's the one unhealthy habit about yourself you'd like to change?
I would like to get up earlier. I sleep on time, but I don't get up early. But I would like to get up earlier. I would like to get up with the sun. And that's my target.
What's the one unhealthy habit you would like to not change?
It's about coffee. And the thing about coffee is that if you stop having coffee,
Hmm.
you reduce or you get rid of 50% of your happiness.
I gave up coffee,
So
so
so I'm not going to change that. A lot of wellness experts who tell me, but maybe even you've written about it, is there are always a lot of mixed opinions on coffee. So, but I don't think I will. I need at least a bit of coffee every day.
the reason I gave up coffee is because people who have an autoimmune condition or people who are on the spectrum, because it can trigger pain. So that's
Okay.
my reason was because of my background of having rheumatoid
Oh,
arthritis. Yeah.
but otherwise you love coffee.
I love coffee. I miss it so much. Whenever I'm passing somewhere and somebody's having coffee, I will just go and inhale and,
Ah,
the aroma. And then they say, half the fun is in the aroma and you've taken the aroma away. So,
yeah. Especially when you enter, those larger aircrafts, international routes, and you enter from the galley, and you have this smell of coffee that kind of overwhelms you, overpowers you in a nice way.
yeah.
It's that's the kick.
Yeah.
That gives you a kick. But coffee is, and I'm experimenting with the shroom coffee now.
Okay.
You
Which
know,
is
with
supposed to be good
various
here.
with various shroom coffees like reishi and
Yeah.
chaga, and some of these are decaffeinated, but they still have that smell of coffee. But I think it's probably it's probably a healthy alternative.
Okay. What's your favorite food?
Eggs, eggs, eggs.
Oh my God. I think you are my soul brother from another mother. Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I
I
love
love.
eggs. I can have it for lunch, for dinner, for breakfast. Breakfast, I have to have it. If I don't have eggs for breakfast, my day is doomed.
Please have the yolk. There's a lot of misconception going around about the yolk.
Correct.
It does not increase cholesterol. It's very good for you. It has folate. It has glutathione.
Correct. It is whole eggs. Whatever I eat is always whole eggs.
Close your eyes. The first person that comes to your mind.
No one.
Okay. So, so you are not emotionally dependent on anyone.
I am. It's not that I'm not. I am, but it works both ways for me.
Okay.
I I don't know. So I mean, how do you interpret that as?
I would call it emotional independence, which is a very good thing from a relationship perspective because emotional dependence brings about clinginess. So you're good.
Yeah. Okay. So that's a positive, right?
It's a positive, totally.
Perfect.
What would Harmeet tell his younger self today?
Cut down your sugar. I
Use
used to consume a lot of sugar, one way or the other. I think sugar is a human being's worst enemy.
smoking followed by sugar. But
Okay, since I don't
you
smoke,
don't
so
smoke, yeah.
that's not on my list.
Yeah.
But this is experience. I think sugar is your worst enemy.
Your words of cheeky wisdom.
That there is nothing that's not allowed in life as long as you can get away with it. The more recent one, which is kind of gripped me, is you don't need to age gracefully.
High
You
five on
should
that.
you should be mischievous, audacious, and have a great story to tell.
What's your message to other leaders who are still struggling with pain or lifestyle issues and want to gain a fresher and more agile life?
People who spend sleepless nights working, my message to them is you are replaceable for whoever you work for, but you're not replaceable for your loved ones. It'll take a month for somebody to find your replacement professionally. But you got to be in one piece, sound in body and mind, and live for as long as you live. You don't have to you should not be existing for as long as you live. You need to live and thrive for as long as you live. It comes with experience, it comes with time, it comes with a few setbacks. Not as impactful today for a 30-year-old as it might be for a 50-year-old.
No, Harmeet, the number of 30-year-olds that I get who have a damaged body and mind, it breaks my heart. So it's happening earlier. It's like what you talked about consumption for the planet, it's happening
Mhm.
earlier and earlier. We are also spending our mind and body earlier and earlier, and whatever we got, other people got at 50, now people are getting at 25 or 30.
Yeah.
How do you let go of emotional toxicity?
I think one needs to know the difference between when to stay silent, when to retaliate, and when to give your 2 cents.
Any last words of advice?
Try and bring as much joy in your life as you can, professionally, personally. Do the things that make you happy. Once you're gone, you'll be forgotten very quickly. No matter who, whether it's your brother, your wife, your child, life has a way of moving on. It will move on with or without you. Make the most of it. If you want to have a nice meal, nice vacation, treat yourself to some nice clothes or whatever, do it. I think for me, joy is the key word.
Joy is keyword. Done. Thank you so much. Thank you.
No, thank you for this. I think it was a good opportunity for me to kind of let out, what I feel about various things uh, that you asked, and this is a first, and that's because of you.
Namaste.